Welcome dear students. Today we will start with chapter number 3, human reproduction. You know the reproduction, it's a characteristic of all living organism, and human being is not also exception, because through a reproduction the continuity of feature is maintained from generation to a generation. We have learned two type of a reproduction process. One is asexual mode of reproduction and the second one is sexual mode of reproduction. Human reproduces by which method of reproduction? Asexual or the sexual? So the answer is they reproduces by sexual mode of reproduction. So in human, the sexual reproduction takes place, or sexual mode of reproduction takes place in human being. Okay? Now if you see a human being, the human being is unisexual animal. Unisexual animal, that means in a human, two sexes are separate, male and female. Two different sexes are present. This is called as a unisexual animal. Apart from that, we also know that the human being is viviparous animal. It's a viviparous animal. Means it gives a birth to a young one, or they deliver a young one. Okay, where the development of embryo takes place inside a body of a female parent, and they deliver a young one after achieving a certain growth time period. So they are a viviparous animal. They gives a birth or delivery to a young one. So this is called as viviparous. You know that the human being is a unisexual animal, means two sexes are separate, and you can find the differences between these two sexes. If you see a male and female, male human being and the female human being, you can find a differences between them. Means the human being can exhibit sexual dimorphism. Clear? Sexual dimorphism means there are differences exist between a male and a female living organism. Okay, this is called as sexual dimorphism, and the human being that can have a sexual dimorphism. Okay. Now, so what are the differences between a male and female? Okay, so let's have a check the differences between a male and female. What are the differences in the sexes? Male, female. Okay. So there are lots of differences exist between the male and female in human being. First we will discuss what are the differences in the external characteristic of a male and female. Okay, so starting with the first. There is a presence of mammary gland in both male and the female. But in case of a male, the mammary gland is namesake only. Okay, it's just for namesake. It is not developed, not well functional. It is just a namesake. This happens in case of a male. But in case of a female, the mammary gland is well developed and functional. Means it provides a nourishment to its offspring. Okay, it secretes a milk and they provides a nourishment to a offspring. But that mammary gland which is present in the male is just for a namesake. Okay, this is the first difference from external point of view. Okay, next, the another difference from external point of view is that there is a presence of beard and mustache develops in a male human being. But in female, you cannot find the beard and mustache. So the beard and mustache is absent. Clear? So you can clear cut see. In the male, there is a presence of beard and mustache, and in female, there is an absence of beard and mustache. Next, a third difference is that in case of a male, they have a strong muscles. Okay, but in case of a female, they have, I am not saying a weak, but it is comparatively weak. its comparatively weak muscle is present, okay, or less strong muscles are present in case of a female. Okay, next, fourth, from external point of view difference. In case of a male, the voice is heavy, okay, and in female the voice is shrill. Okay, in other term you can say that in male the voice is a low pitch voice, in a female it is a high pitch voice. So these are the differences in between male and female human being from external point of view. Okay, so they show external dimorphism. So if you see any human being which is standing in front of you, and then you can determine whether it's a male or female by looking over the features of that human being. Okay, so I again repeat, what are the differences between a male and female human being externally? In male the mammary gland is present, but it's just for a namesake. In a female the mammary gland is present and it is well developed and functional. Okay, so remember, mammary gland is present in both, but here just for namesake, here it's a well developed and functional. In case of a male, the beard and mustache is present or it develops, whereas in female the beard and mustache is absent. Here the male has a strong muscle and the female they have a comparatively a weak muscle. Compared to a male they have a big muscle. Next, in case of a male their voice is heavy or low pitch voice. In case of a female the voice is shrill or they have a high pitch voice. So these are the differences from external point of view. Now what are the differences from internal point of view or internal characteristics? The one difference, as a gonad the male has testes. So testes are present as a gonad. Okay, whereas in a female as a gonad what is present? The ovaries are present. What is present? Ovaries are present. In male testes are present, in a female the ovaries are present. Okay, next, the another difference, if you see, you know that the testes are present in a male as a gonad, but where it is present? They are present outside abdominal cavity. So where the testes is present? The testes are present outside the abdominal cavity. Here also you know that where the ovaries are present in female as a gonad, but where they are present? The ovaries are present inside abdominal cavity. Okay, so this is a difference. They are present outside abdominal cavity, and the female, the ovaries are present inside the abdominal cavity. Next, another difference, the testes. The testes, it secretes a hormone called as testosterone. Okay, whereas female, they produces a hormone called as, two sexual hormones are released by female. One is called as estrogen and the second one is called as progesterone. Okay, so here the testis secretes a which hormone? That's called as a testosterone, and in female they release one hormone what we call as estrogen and the progesterone. So these are the differences. These four differences with respect to external features or external characteristics. And these are the features which difference in terms of internal characteristics. Ultimately, I want to say that in a human being, male and female, they are different, or the human being, they exhibit a sexual dimorphism, means sex-wise they are a different one. They are different one. Okay. Okay, here you can say that, even you can say that here the male produces, one more difference you can also write that the male produces a sperm as a male gamete, and here what the female produces? The female produces ovum as a female gamete. Okay, so this is a difference between a male and female. I hope to all of you there is a clear-cut differences between a male and female, and you can identify which human being is a male and which human being is a female. Okay, so before starting this human reproduction, you should know the basic differences exist between male and female externally as well as internally. Okay, now we move ahead. Now all of you know that the human being is a unisexual. They show a sexual dimorphism, means sexually they are different. Okay, they are viviparous animals, means they give a birth to a young one or they deliver a young one. Okay, and the important type is they exhibit sexual mode of reproduction. Human do not reproduces by asexual method, they always reproduces by sexual mode of reproduction. Okay, so as you know that the human reproduces sexually, so the basic events that occur in any living organism who reproduces sexually are the three. So which are the basic three events in any animal which reproduces sexually? This is called as pre-fertilization, second is called as fertilization, and the third one is called as post-fertilization. You have learned it in first chapter. Any living organism who reproduces sexually, they have a basic three events, whatever the living organism it may be. Okay, whether it's a simple one or the complex one like us, but the basic events occur in any living organism who reproduces sexually are the three: pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. So similarly, these three events also occurs in human being. Now you also know the subtypes. What are the subtypes of it? The pre-fertilization involves two processes. It's called as Gametogenesis, and the second one is called as gamete transfer. Okay. After that, the fertilization means a fusion of gamete takes place, and the post-fertilization that includes the two processes. First is called as zygote formation, and next is called as Embryo Genesis, means a process of formation of an embryo. Okay, so these are the basic events of it. Before we discuss the individual human being, that's a male and female, we will discuss few terms, which these terms are very important throughout this chapter. So we will learn first a few terms which are related with a sexual mode of reproduction. Okay, so whenever the term comes, you can come to know that what is the meaning of this term. Okay, starting with first, called as gametogenesis. You know the meaning of gametogenesis. A process of formation of gamete is called as gametogenesis. Here a male produces male gamete, a female produces the female gamete. Okay, so they produces a sperm. So who will produce a sperm? Male, it is a male gamete. And who will produce the ovum? The ovum, it is produced by the female because it is female gamete. Okay, how this production occurs or how the sperm and the ovum is generated by male and female respectively, that we will see later in this chapter. But male produces a sperm, female produces the ovum. Okay, this is called as gametogenesis. Once the gametes are produced, okay, then the gamete has to be transferred. Okay, so here the male gamete is a motile in nature, so the male gamete has to be transferred to a female gamete, because once they are transferred, then the fertilization process takes place. But to make the process feasible or to make the fertilization possible, the male gamete, that is a sperm, has to travel and reach to a female gamete, and that process is called as gamete transfer. Okay, so the transfer of this male gamete, sperm, and deposit into a female genital tract. Okay, I again repeat, the transfer of male gamete, sperm, into a female genital tract. This this transfer process is called as insemination. What it is called as? Insemination. So what is an insemination? Insemination means transfer of sperm or a male gamete into a female genital tract, or in another term you can also call it as deposition of sperm into a female genital tract. This is called as insemination. The deposition process, that's called as an insemination. Next is called as fertilization. Once it is deposited, they are brought together and there is high possibility that both the gametes, they might get fused, and that process occurs. This process is called as a fertilization. And after fertilization, the process is going to be formed. This is called as zygote formation. Okay. Now this zygote develop, and this zygote convert into a blastocyst. This blastocyst, which is going to be formed, that attaches to a wall of uterus in a female. Okay, uterus is one of the organ of a female reproductive tract. It is one of the sexual organ of female genital organ. Okay, so this is a blastocyst, a kind of a cell which is developed from a zygote that attaches to a wall of uterus, and that process, attaching this blastocyst to a wall of uterus, that process is called as implantation. Okay, now this blastocyst again develop, and that leads to a formation of an embryo. So this development that occurs in a womb, what we call it as pregnancy. Okay, that results in the development of an embryo within the womb or in a body of a female parent. That process is called as embryo genesis. As human being is a viviparous animal, so the development occurs inside a body of a female parent. Okay, and that what we commonly call it as pregnancy, but in scientific term that is called as gestation. What's called as gestation? Gestation means a development of an embryo inside a female body, or commonly we call it as pregnancy. Okay. Next, once a specific growth of a baby has been achieved, means pregnancy after 9 months achieves, a delivery of a baby takes place, or a birth of a baby takes place. That process, a delivery of a baby or a birth of a baby, that can be referred as a term called as parturition. What's called as parturition? Parturition means a delivery of a young one or delivery of a baby. This is called as parturition. And final term, it is called as lactation. Okay, once the baby gets delivered out, it needs a nutrition, or it has been provided a nutrition in the form of mother's milk. Okay, and that providing a nutrition in the form of mother's milk, this is called as lactation. So these are the few terms or few words that you have to remember, because these are the words which are repeatedly used while studying human reproduction. Okay, so I again repeat the few terms. You have to remember this term: insemination, implantation, gestation, parturition, lactation. Okay, you should know the meaning of that. So what is the insemination? Insemination, that means deposition of sperm into a female genital tract, or the transfer of sperm into a female genital tract. This process is called as insemination. Second, implantation. What is an implantation? The attachment of this blastocyst. Okay, blastocyst is developed from zygote. Attachment of this blastocyst to the wall of uterus or to the lining of uterus. That process is called as implantation. Gestation, commonly what we call it as pregnancy. That means the time period for which the embryo or the baby remains in the womb or the body of a female parent and it develops. This is called as gestation. Parturition. Parturition means a delivery of a young one or the delivery of a baby or a birth of a baby. That process is called as parturition. And the final one, it's called as lactation, means providing a mother's milk to a baby. Okay, this is called as lactation process. Okay, so that's all about the few terms what you have to remember: insemination, implantation, gestation, parturition and lactation. The sexual reproduction in human being occurs in 3 steps: pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization, as it occurs in other living organism who reproduces sexually. So we also have to learn the same processes in this chapter. And for that, we have to learn the first process called as gametogenesis, means a process of formation of gamete. A male produces male gamete sperm, female produces female gamete ovum. But to understand how the gametes are produced, we should first know the structures of male reproductive system and female reproductive system. So let's start with the structures of male reproductive system and a female reproductive system. Okay, so we will discuss what are the structures and their functions or their roles, and then we will see how these gametes are going to be produced. Okay, but to understand the formation of gamete, we first understand what are the different structures as a sexual reproductive organ in male and female and how they function. Okay, so let's start with first male reproductive organs and their function. So start with first male reproductive system. It's like the other system what we have learned in the 11th science. Okay, we have learned many systems, human system in the 11th science like digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, excretory system, osseous system, and muscular system, nervous system, endocrine system. These are the systems regarding to a human being what we have learned in the 11th science. Now we have to learn the reproductive system, but a reproductive system in male and female is a different one, so we will discuss separately. First discuss the male reproductive system. Okay, so which are the organs of male reproductive system? Which organs are included under a male reproductive system? The first organ of male reproductive system is testes. Okay, second it includes accessory duct. There are many accessory ducts are present. Okay, that is a part of male reproductive system. Next, it also includes accessory glands and it includes external genitalia. Okay, so these four are mainly included under a male reproductive system. So in the composition of male reproductive system, what it consists of? It consists of testes, accessory ducts, accessory glands and external genitalia. We have to discuss each one in detail. Okay, so starting with the first one, it's called as a testes. Okay, the first part, what we call it as testes. Okay. So what are the characteristics of these testes and where they are present? If you see in a human being, the testes can act as a gonad. Okay, testes can act as a gonad. Where it is present? They are present. You already know that where it is present. They are present outside abdominal cavity. This is a location where they are present. Testes are present outside abdominal cavity. Okay, they are present in a pouch-like structure. You can see that there is a presence of pouch-like structure where a testes are present. Okay, pouch-like structure which is present outside the abdominal cavity in the pelvic region. Okay, so this testes, they are surrounded by a pouch-like structure. This pouch-like structure, it is called as scrotum. Means they are present in a pouch-like structure, scrotum. Okay, clear? Scrotum is a location or they are present in scrotum. Now, what is the scrotum? The scrotum is pouch-like or bag-like structure in which the testes are located. If you see the shape of this testes, the testes are oval in shape. What is the shape of testes? Oval in shape. How many testes are present? So, two or a pair of testes are present. Clear? A pair of testes, two testes are present outside the abdominal cavity. This is regarding the number and the location where it is present. Okay? So see, I can repeat, where the testes are present. The testes are present outside abdominal cavity in a pelvic region. These testes are surrounded by a pouch-like structure called as scrotum. What is the shape of this testes? The testes are oval in shape. How many testes are present? 2 testes are present. Okay. So these are the in general information regarding the testes. Now, if you see this testes, they are present in a pouch-like structure called as a scrotum. And the scrotum that helps to maintain a temperature of 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade lower than body temperature. Clear? What is the function of this scrotum? Why they are present in a scrotum? Because the scrotum helps testes, this scrotum, pouch-like structure, it helps the testes to maintain its temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade lower than body temperature. Okay. So if you know that the body temperature, usual normal body temperature of human being is 37 degrees Celsius, then what should be the temperature of the scrotum where the testes are present? The function scrotum where the testes are present, the temperature is 34.5 to 35 degrees Celsius. So here the temperature is lower, and why it is a lower temperature? Because at lower temperature it promotes a process called as spermatogenesis. If there is a high temperature, the sperm production may get affected. So to facilitate this process, a spermatogenesis process or sperm production process, the temperature is lower. How much lower? 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than body temperature. Okay, and who will maintain this lower temperature? A scrotum will maintain this lower temperature. Okay, any doubt? No. So this is usual information regarding to our testes. So now we try to draw a structure of testes. See, now you know that. So we will try to draw a structure of male reproductive system. A front view of male reproductive system we start to draw. See, this is a testes. How many testes? There are 2 testes. They are oval in shape. Okay, they are present in a pelvic region. Okay, these testes are surrounded by a covering. The covering of this testes is called as Tunica Albuginea. I write over here. What is called as Tunica Albuginea. What is a Tunica Albuginea? It's a covering of testes. Okay, so they are surrounded by the covering. Each testis has its own surrounding or covering, and this covering is called as a Tunica Albuginea. Okay. Now, this covering that extend inwards and it forms many lobules inside it. How many lobules? There are many lobules which are present inside it. Many lobules are going to form like such. Lobules are going to be formed. I have tried to draw only few, but I will tell you the exact number, how many lobules are present in it. So the number of lobules which are present in it are 250. How many lobules? 250. And they are called as testicular lobule. What it is called as? Testicular lobule. Okay. So again repeat, testes are covered, each testis is covered by its covering. The name of this covering is called as Tunica Albuginea. It forms a covering of this testis that extend inwards. It extends inwards and that form many lobules, lobe-like structure, compartments. You can see a different compartments, what we call it as lobe. How many lobules are formed in each testis? 250 testicular lobules are formed in each testis. Okay, and that is formed by the separations. Now each testicular lobule, each testis possess 250 testicular lobule. Now one testicular lobule, they possess 1, 2, 3, seminiferous tubule. Each testis, બરાબર છે, that means one testis. It possesses how many lobule? 1, 2, 3 seminiferous tubules are present in it. Okay. Now if you see this line, it's a tubule, means it's just like a tube-like structure. If you see this 1, 2, 3 seminiferous tubule which is present in each seminiferous tubule, the lining of this tubule consists of two types of cells. How many types of cells? Two types of cell. First is called as male germ cell, and the second one is Sertoli cell. Okay, how many types of cells are present in the tube, this seminiferous tubule or tube? Two types of the cells. One is called as male germ cell and the second one is called as Sertoli cell. The male germ cell, you can also call it as spermatogonium. What's another name of male germ cell? It can also be called as spermatogonium. This spermatogonium, it undergo a meiotic division or meiosis and it form a sperm. Clear? So what's the function of this male germ cell? The male germ cell, they undergo a meiotic division and it forms a sperm. Now what is the function of this Sertoli cell? The Sertoli cell, it provides nourishment to developing sperm. Clear? So when the spermatogonium or the male germ cell are converted into a sperm that needs a nourishment or nutrition, that nutrition is provided by a Sertoli cell. Okay? So I again repeat, the testes, they are covered by a covering called as Tunica Albuginea that extend inward and it form 250 testicular lobules. Now each lobule, okay, or each testicular lobule, here I change it, so each testicular lobule, it possesses 1, 2, 3 seminiferous tubule. 1, 2, 3, each seminiferous tubule or the lining of seminiferous tubule, they possess the two type of a cell, male germ cell and the Sertoli cell. Male germ cell can also be called as spermatogonium, which by undergoing a meiotic division forms a sperm. Sertoli cell, the function of this Sertoli cell, it provides a nourishment to this developing sperm. Okay. Now, in a seminiferous tubule, apart from this lining, there is a small spaces are present outside the seminiferous tubule, and this is called as interstitial space. The cells which are present in this, okay, what is the interstitial space? The interstitial space means a space outside a seminiferous tubule, that is called as interstitial space. They possess a cell, and the name of this cell is interstitial cells, or it can also be called as Leydig cell. What's another name? It's called as Leydig cell. Okay, so the interstitial cells or the Leydig cell which is present outside the seminiferous tubule, the function of this interstitial cell or Leydig cell, it secretes male androgen, and the male androgen is, you know it, which is the main testosterone. Okay, this is a hormone, male sexual hormone, which is secreted by this Leydig cell or interstitial cell. Okay, so these are the functions. You have to remember the functions of this cell. So what is the function of male germ cell? The male germ cell or spermatogonium, it develops into a sperm. Okay, what is the function of Sertoli cell? The Sertoli cell, it provides a nourishment to a developing sperm. Both are present in the lining or the wall of seminiferous tubule. Outside this seminiferous tubule, the space is present, that's called as interstitial space, that possess a cells called as interstitial cells, or you can also call it as Leydig cell. The function of this Leydig cell, it secretes a male androgen called as testosterone. Okay. And you know that this is a hormone. Upon the influence of this hormone, the production of sperm starts. Okay, so that's all about a first organ what we have finished, that is called as testes. Okay, add it out. So here we have finished a first male reproductive organ, testes. So today what we have learned? We have learned human is unisexual animal. It is a viviparous animal. It reproduces sexually, means they exhibit sexual mode of reproduction. Okay, there is a sexual dimorphism between male and female. We have seen what are the differences between a male and female externally as well as internally. Okay, along with that we have started with a few terms, like for example insemination, gestation, implantation, parturition, lactation. So you should know the meaning of this term. We have discussed which are the parts of male reproductive system. These are the basic four parts: testes, accessory duct, accessory gland, external genitalia. Today we have finished just one. This one we have finished today, testes. Okay, so you know the characteristic of the testes, how it's look like. Okay, so you have to learn it in a proper way and prepare it. The remaining three parts of male reproductive system, accessory duct, accessory gland and external genitalia, that we will discuss in the next session. Okay, till then keep learning. Remember, you have to remember the cells. Okay, I just repeat out the testes so you can easily remember. Testes, two testes or pair of testes are present in a pelvic region outside abdominal cavity. Okay, they are present in a pouch-like structure called as scrotum. Scrotum maintain the temperature of testes to 2.5 degrees centigrade lower than body temperature, because low temperature promotes a process called as spermatogenesis. Each testis is covered by fibrous connective tissue or its covering called as Tunica Albuginea. Tunica Albuginea extend inwards and it forms 250 testicular lobule. Each testis has 250 testicular lobule. And each testicular lobule has 1 to 3 seminiferous tubule. The lining of seminiferous tubule made up of two type of a cell, male germ cell and Sertoli cells. Okay, male germ cell or spermatogonium, they develops into a sperm by meiosis. Sertoli cell provides a nourishment to a offspring. Outside that, these cells, they possess the interstitial cell, or you can also call it as Leydig cell. It secretes a male androgen called as testosterone, and upon the influence of this hormone, the production of sperm formation starts. Okay, so I hope so you have clear with this one of the part of a male reproductive system, testes. We will discuss the other parts in the next session. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Thank you once again.